As always, on George Uboh TV, we bring you provocative, compelling, and riveting details of issues happening in our country. Today on the program, we have the chairman of George Uboh Whistleblowers Network. Sir, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Sir, George Uboh TV is reliably informed of a suit that is now filed against the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Senator Godswill Akpabio. The suit is numbered FHC/ABJ/CS/11/2021. Can you tell us the details of what that suit is about?
Thank you very much, sir. First, I need to start by saying that I'm a Niger Delta. I'm from Akwa, the Delta State. So the local standing is very clear. Yes, the issue of NDDC vis-a-vis Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs is a huge one, because for the first time, the NDDC is now subsumed under the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. This is unprecedented, this is unparalleled. Now, while we're trying to recover from such anomaly, such illegality, Godswill Akpabio has acted like an emperor, has appointed a sole administrator to oversee the affairs of the NDDC. Now, sentiments aside, in so doing, laws have been thwarted. So today, after compounding what Senator Godswill Akpabio has done, we deem these acts to be provocative enough, compelling enough, and riveting enough to take it to court. So today, Friday, January 8, 2021, we filed a lawsuit. What we are asking for is very simple. Whether by virtue of the Code of Conduct Act, whether Godswill Akpabio acted well as a public officer in the public interest, whether he in so doing, whether he eschewed personal, financial, or other material benefits. Secondly, whether the Fiscal Responsibility Act, the pertinent portion, whether in so doing, whether Godswill Akpabio encouraged corruption, misuse of public funds, and allied matters. Thirdly, that pursuant to the relevant portion of the NDDC Act, that such appointment is ultra vires. So once, whether such appointment is ultra vires, so once the court answers these questions in the affirmative, and we believe the court will, we are asking the court to certainly set aside the appointment of Mr. Effiong Akwa as the sole administrator of the NDDC. So that is what we're asking the court to do.
So in other words, you're not coming for only Akpabio, as well as some officers under him?
No. When you go to court, we are asking the court to look into the action he took. And 3 questions were posed, have been posed to the court. Whether by virtue of the Code of Conduct for the ministers, as a minister, whether he acted within the confines of the Code of Conduct. As a public officer, whatever decision you take, he has to be in the public interest. So this is not in the public interest, it's to benefit himself. So that is the first question. The second is whether by the relevant provisions of the Fiscal Responsibility Act, which that has to do with the money for the public and all that, whether such action will lead to corruption, embezzlement, and the misuse of public funds. And the third question is whether by taking on this action, whether it is ultra vires meaning he acted beyond his powers. And certainly we are very confident that these questions will be answered in the affirmative. Now, once the questions are answered in the affirmative, Our prayer is that that action he took, which is ultra-virus, be set aside. That is the appointment of Mr. Effiong Akwa, be set aside. And once the court does that, then we maintain status quo. That will clip his wings, because this is a democracy. Whatever action you took, he is part of the executive. Now we're going to the judiciary, a co-equal branch of the three-legged branches of any democracy, to look into his action.
One would say it's mere conjectures when you say that by appointing somebody, he is likely to, it is in an attempt to do something that will benefit himself. Don't you think that you are just being overboard when you say that?
No. You see, this is the way the law works. When you do something beyond your powers, okay, even the president, the court interprets any law that sets the parameter of the executive. So once the court determines that what he did is beyond or is not in the spirit of code of conduct of public officers, is not in consonant with the way public funds should be spent, and is ultra-virus when he single-handedly, unilaterally appointed this man. So that is not the way government works. So the NDDC Act is very clear on this. So with such appointment, we are of the opinion, and it's a very strong opinion, that the action he took in appointing Mr. Effiong Akwa is beyond his powers.
Although Godswill Akpabio has been in the public sphere recently, are you hinging this your suit based on past antecedents, or is it a different case entirely?
This is a separate and distinct allegation. Each allegation, globally, common sense, each allegation should stand on its own, although in certain instances you can look at modus operandi and say this person has the penchant for doing certain things. But in this case, it's a separate and distinct allegation, notwithstanding the fact that we do have other allegations against him. You would recall that there is a tape out there in the public domain, an audio, in which Akpabio allegedly or purportedly ordered the bombing of the pipeline. But that is separate and distinct. This one is not conjecture, it's not supposition. This is an appointment premised by documents signed by him, appointing Mr. Effiong Akwa as the sole administrator of the Niger Delta Development Commission. So to answer your question, is separate.
Yeah. So once again, just for clarity, what are you praying the court to do?
To set aside the appointment, period. When there is illegality or something beyond, the courts are set up to interpret the law. So any action the executive takes, that is why there are three co-equal branches. Any action the executive or the legislative arm of the government makes the law, the executive enforces the law, and the judiciary interprets the law. So he has enforced the law. The enforcement part is appointing Effiong Akwa as sole administrator. We are saying, wait a minute, not too fast. That enforcement is ultra-virus, it's beyond your powers. Now we're taking it back to the judiciary to please interpret this. Does he have the power to appoint Mr. Effiong Akwa? If the court says, no, he does not have the power, then the next, the remedy is for what you can't do something or nothing, as we say in law. So once the court says, no, your action is ultra-virus, then the remedy will be to set it aside. Period.
We wish to follow up on this issue as it goes further.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget to watch us further on this program. Follow us on www.georgeubotv.com. Thanks for staying with us.